Hey guys, I've taken a break from making YouTube movies, but now I'm back and eager to make many more. I am pleased to see so many new subscribers have joined during the last month. I think the video on Beast of Man and whether or not he is stupid is the principal reason. That video is taking off like a rocket. I've seen some comments from people who have difficulty hearing me or who have noticed other audio glitches. I will pay special attention at preventing those from reoccurring. Sadly, for videos that have already been posted, there's little I can do except re-upload them completely. I returned to making YouTube videos with another Blade Runner character video, this time on Love, the antagonist from the sequel movie Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Throughout the sequel movie, the story follows the character K, later calling himself Joe, a replicant in the service of the LAPD, tasked with hunting down and retiring other replicants. K was made by the Wallace Corporation, a successor to Tyrell, so it is inevitable K's investigation will take him back to the place where he was made, not unlike Deckard when he was tasked with killing a group of replicants. However, this time things are different. K is tasked with disposing of the child of two replicants, Rachel and Deckard, as any such offspring will be a threat to the already blurring lines between replicants and humans. So Kay ventures to the Wallace HQ with a recently obtained sample of Rachel's DNA to uncover more about her and by extension Deckard. When it is scanned, it sets off an alarm in the office of the Wallace employee we only later discover is called Love. She interrupts the meeting she is in after attempting to sell worker replicants as well as pleasure models to an unknown woman. Meanwhile, Kay and the nameless file clerk continue to examine the broken records associated with the replicant, now known as Rachel. Love intercepts Kay in order to question him about why Rachel's DNA showed up after an absence of decades. Kay immediately recognizes Love as a replicant, somewhat to her annoyance. While thanking Kay for closing the case on Rachel's disappearance, Love takes him to the data vault. There a rather garbled recording is played of the first meeting between Rachel and Deckard. Love subtly asks him why the death of Rachel requires a further investigation now that it is confirmed she is dead. The viewer has up to this moment no idea why Love, and by extension Wallace, is interested in following Kay's progression. Interest in any offspring of Rachel and Deckard is only an assumption. However, at the same time viewers cannot help but wonder if there are analogies between Love and Kay and Rachel and Deckard. It is only in the next scene with Love do we figure out where things stand. Love tells her maker Neander Wallace a new model is ready for his review, and so a female replicant is birthed. Neander rants about the function of replicants, to provide a disposable workforce for humanity. Love is visibly threatened by her maker's words, no doubt a response programmed into her because otherwise she is extremely strong, physically. Neander laments the fact he can only make a limited number of replicants. It is implied if replicants could be birthed by other female replicants, it would be to his advantage. He talks of storming Eden to retake it, a veiled allusion to complete domination of Earth and the colonies. Wallace alludes to Tyrell's final trick, procreation between Deckard and Rachel. He then orders Love to find the child in order to safeguard the secret. Love sets out to her task with abandon. First, she collects the mortal remains of Rachel from the LAPD morgue. She kills the investigator, Coco, after he discovers her. When Lieutenant Joshi warns Kay about Coco's death, it is implied Love can operate with near immunity. Joshi doubles down on her demand Kay discover the fate of the replicant child. The trio leads Kay to the ruins of San Diego, which conveniently acts as the LA Municipal Waste Processing Area. The spinner carrying Kay and his avatar girlfriend Joy is downed by scavengers. However, Kay is saved from the scavengers by Love when she casually calls in an airstrike from the comfortable seat of her office while she is having her nails tattooed. Kay ultimately discovers at the orphanage a small wooden horse of which he has dreamed. This takes him to a memory engineer, Dr. Anna Stalin, who tells him this particular memory was lived by a real person, meaning somebody implanted the memory of the replicant child into Kay to set off an investigation. Following a near mental breakdown, Kay is brought into the LAPD, where Lieutenant Joshi warns him she cannot go on protecting him. Back in his apartment, Kay makes a few momentous decisions. From now on, he will call himself Joe. He is also going to fulfill his mission, but not to kill the replicant child. Finally, while on the run from the LAPD together with Joy, he decides to go off-grid and breaks the antenna of the emanator that contains her avatar. With the tracking device now useless, Love springs into action at the Wallace HQ. First, she enters Joe's apartment and confirms he is gone. Then she visits Lieutenant Joshi at the LAPD. Joshi seems to recognize Love. No doubt they must have had some past dealings, and Lieutenant Joshi plays it cool, though she does appear to sense danger. Love questions her about Joe's disappearance, but with answers not forthcoming kills her. Love uses the office retinal scan on Joshi's body and gains access to her computer system. How Love gained access to the LAPD and the office remains a mystery, but it is strongly hinted Wallace's near unlimited wealth also brings immense power. From the computer system, Love learns that Joe is now in Las Vegas. Joe indeed uses the little wooden horse he found to track the lead back to Las Vegas. There he discovers Deckard living in hiding amidst the fallout of a nuclear dirty bomb. From Deckard he learns Rachel died in childbirth, but the child lived and was placed in hiding at the orphanage in the municipal wasteland. Love and her team snatch Deckard from Las Vegas and leave a badly bruised Joe behind. Back in LA, Love presents her prize to Neander. Knowing Deckard holds the secret of where his child is, they attempt to manipulate him with a new replicant of Rachel. But a heartbroken Deckard rejects her, after which she is shot by Love. Love takes Deckard off-world so he can be interrogated through other means. However, Joe decides to save him after being rescued from Las Vegas by the replicant underground. Joe intercepts the convoy carrying Deckard and Love just outside the city's seawall. Joe downs the two patrol spinners before also crashing the transport. Love is not about to give up her prisoner and a vicious fight ensues between her and Joe. Love proves herself to be a match for Joe and manages to stab him. Ultimately, as the transport carrying Deckard is descending beneath the waves, Joe manages to drown her. Deckard is saved by Joe. Before Joe expires from his wound, he introduces Deckard to Dr. Stalin, whom he long deduced was Deckard and Rachel's child. She implanted a few small memories in replicants in the hopes of being reunited with her parents. With Love and Joe dead and Deckard once again in hiding, Neander Wallace is left without the secret to replicant procreation. And so this was my video on the replicant Love, who without a doubt plays the villain throughout the Blade Runner sequel. It is odd that the movie has such a clear-cut villain. Wallace, for all his evil talk, comes off as an unrestrained scientist with a god complex. It is Love who does the legwork and kills people for even attempting to interfere with her task, as shown by the murder of the LAPD officers. Even the original Blade Runner didn't have such a clear villain. Tyrell was also a scientist with a god complex, while Roy Batty, the leader of the replicant gang whom Deckard has to hunt down, does evil deeds out of desperation. Love comes off as an unemotional, Terminator-type assassin, but there is more to her character. Throughout the movie, in no small part to actress Silvia Hoeks' performance, we do get flashes of emotion. They are outbursts that show she has a huge drive to secure her goals for her maker Neander Wallace. Wallace leans a lot on her abilities, even referring to her as his first angel during a nearly incomprehensible diatribe early in the movie. His speech nonetheless has a profound effect on her. Throughout the movie, she will attempt to get what she wants with a semi-sincere smile and an innocent question, but will quickly devolve to coercion and murder if that does not work. Clearly, Neander Wallace designed every part of her, from her physical strength to her abilities as a personal fixer. No doubt her death will affect him in some ways as well, maybe not emotionally, then at least as a loss of experience during the presumably many years she has worked for him. It is left unanswered if the recovery of her body makes it possible to recover her memory as well. Well, that was it for my video on Love, the enigmatic replicant villain from Blade Runner 2049. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you want, or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like it.